gentlemen, to your power rankings for week 2. David Hildebrand came up with this idea. This is presented, Power Rankings Week 2 is presented by David Hildebrand. This is Chris Collinsworth, and I wanted a kind of a foolish looking picture that says the word jinx. It cannot be explained what David Hildebrand was thinking when he asked me to put this junk wall up. But he did donate, and he was the only one to participate in the junk wall. So I'm going to do whatever he tells me to do, okay? And he gave money. But please, somebody next week, step up and make a play for this junk wall, because David is making no sense with back-to-back weeks, all right? Here we go. Power rankings for week 2, baby. Big time games. 3 teams are undefeated. That's crazy. After week 2, only 3 teams undefeated. Standings might be even a little tighter this week. I see a few of those undefeateds kind of buckling down and maybe losing their first game this week. We might already, week 3, have all of the undefeated teams toast by that point. We'll take a look. First Amendment passed, ratified, sort of. Okay, sort of it passed. But here's what we're going to do. I know we have discrepancy on the money amount. I'm going to leave that money amount for a later date. I'm going to take what we have as the ultra component. Everyone agreed with part A and part B besides the money amount. And we're going to hold on to that. The money amount will be transferred later into the year into a different amendment, maybe Amendment 11, not within the Bill of Rights. I do want everyone to understand that the Bill of Rights needs to be every state coming together, grinding their gears, coming up with good ideas, and kind of fighting for what you believe in, but also understanding, hey, we got to come together as a union, okay? This is going to be like a beautiful marriage. I can see this league lasting for 25, 30 years. Here we go, 3 games within 9-point margin this week. It was beautiful. It was nice to see. It was good to see, except for we still have this one issue, and it is frowned upon in every league I've ever heard of. The NBA, the NFL, all of it. You can do it all you want, but it is frowned upon, and you're not going to get any love here during the video, and that is tanking. Sir, if you tank during this league at any point, you will receive 0 love from the commish, okay? 0 love. Let's get into the meat and potatoes, y'all. Meat and potatoes. Yeah, buddy. Yeah. Power rankings for week 2. I'm going with the number 1 team. He's already taken an L. But here's how we're going to do it first. Before I even get there, I'm going to go with your team name. And then I'm going to go with your best player so far as of week 2. And the biggest bust necessarily. Okay? Biggest bust since we started. With the number 1 spot, still holding it down. And again, this is biased standings, okay? I'm looking at it objectively as a commish, but I'm looking at the teams top to bottom. I'm saying, who's going to last? Doesn't matter about your standings. Doesn't matter about win-loss record. I'm looking at who is going to last in this league, man. We take a lot of components in. Number 1 team already has an L. Crosby, Stills, and Nash, baby. The commish still standing tall at number 1. I love his team. Best player, Dalvin Cook. And the biggest bust so far is Mr. Crosby. He's already kicked him off the team. He's got to find a new team name now. All right, number 2. The people always shout. This girl's team is rock solid. It's unreal, okay? Top to bottom, beautiful team. I like it. Tyler Boyd, the surprise best player of her team. Just consistent all along. She's played him in the right moments. Biggest bust so far, Kenyon Drake. Key theme in this video is going to be if you have a player playing on the Miami Dolphins, get rid of them immediately, okay? And because they're tanking hardcore. And if you have a player playing against the Miami Dolphins, go ahead and pick him up, start him, try to get double points for him. All right, here we go. Number 3, she has irked her way. I gave her a bad grade, and she doesn't forget, ladies and gentlemen. She is hungry this year. We all know who I'm talking about. Mahomes, sweet home. Patrick Mahomes, best player. Darrell Henderson, who I thought was going to be a sleeper. She did draft him high. I expected big things out of him. Biggest bust so far. Number 4, her husband, Kamara ZL1. Dak Prescott. has the Miami Dolphins coming up, so he might be the #1 quarterback. I'm expecting a big week from Dak. Over 30 points from the QB unless they bench him at halftime and the score is 50-0. Who knows? Biggest bust so far for him, Julian Edelman. You would think with all those receivers, I know Tom Brady spreads the ball around, but goodness, a little bit more points coming from him. Number 5, Dad Bod Bellies coming in at number 5. Really love, what the heck, ads? Are you kidding me? Someone needs to buy YouTube Premium. All right, Mark Andrews, best player by Dad Bod Bellies. David really coming in strong. Very proud of his performance this year. I mean, he's been a key component in our league, as you see by the junk wall. Mark Andrews, tight end. Dude is consistent. He's eating up with Lamar Jackson. Leonard Fournette, big bust this year. This guy needs to get it together. He needs to ground and pound. They need to feed the rock to him. Number 6, can't stop that Thielen. Whew. Pat's defense is his best player. That does not bode well for him long term, but that defense does look pretty dominant. Granted, it was against the Miami Dolphins, but 35 points. That's one of the highest outings I've ever seen a defense have in my entire life, okay? Highest scoring person, okay, was the Pats defense last week. Person in the whole league. Crazy. Jarvis Landry, kind of a little bit of a bust there. I expected some more output from him. Guys, the commission's doing deep dive research here. He does not mess around. Number 7, 6-year Zeke. I really don't like that name, but we're going to go with it. When your kicker is the best player on your team, that's not very good, but you do have the best kicker in the league, Justin Tucker, and biggest bust, Cam Newton. I was actually expecting, I know he's injured, expected everyone to kind of go against McCaffrey and maybe some running lanes, some openings for Cam Newton. Not the case. Really been a tough year for him so far. Number 8, King of the North. Not my favorite name either, but I get where you're going with it. Chris Goodwin. There's a Goodwin and a Godwin in the league. I can't ever remember which one is which, but absolutely a great performance both weeks consistently. Biggest bust so far, Devontae Freeman. Man, I hate to see a Noel do it, but you know, that's just what happens sometimes. You get a little old at running back and things start to tinker off, and the Falcons don't look good this year, let me be honest. Number 9, Shaken Baker Jones. She's eking, she's just climbing her way up the ladder, and she's gonna be something to wreck with, I'm telling you. Julio Jones, by far her most consistent player, even on the Falcons team that's kind of wavered. George Kittle, big bust so far. Just not the type of top-tier tight end talent that you would expect from Mr. Kittle, even though the 49ers are playing their tails off, okay? This was a tough one because there are 3 bad teams in the league, 3. They're really tight. One is really, really bad, so I put him at the bottom. But Thomas and Friends, okay? Thomas and Friends at number 10. Michael Thomas, even though it's not this crazy output, most consistent kind of player. And I don't know what that looks like in the future without Drew Brees, but go Teddy Bridgewater? I don't know. Gordon. Oh, Josh Gordon. Yeah, the cokehead. Josh Gordon, not doing what you would think. Antonio Brown kind of stealing his touches last week. Good Juju coming in at number 11. Wow, this team does not look good right now, and he's just got rid of his quarterback's gone for the year, Drew Brees. He's in big trouble. T.Y. Hilton has been his best, most consistent player. I would consider that trend to continue for sure. Jordan Howard, somebody I thought that got to the Eagles, might produce there. They like to ground and pound. I know they share the ball a little bit, but Jordan Howard, I thought might be a little bit better, biggest bust. Now we're talking about nobody, because number 12 is Ridley Me This, and we don't talk about tanking teams. We do not talk about them here on this program. Okay, bold predictions, baby. Oh, let's talk about him. Calvin Ridley is his best player, and dude, does this guy have some bust so far. Mixon, Evans, and O.J. Howard. Oh my goodness, that team looks bad. All right, bold predictions. Ridley Me This. I am going to predict if he stops tanking, Ridley Me This over Mahomes Sweet Home. I just like a lot of the matchups there, and I don't want to give credit to a tanking team, but you know what? They got to win some point, and I feel like if all those players are rolling, maybe this is the week they kind of sneak up on some people. So pay attention, Mahomes Sweet Home. Now, on to the good point. Good point. Amendment number 2. This meeting is adjourned. Not adjourned. This meeting is commenced. Here we go. Amendment number 2 proposed. Shh. Alexa, stop. And then amendment number two is, it's getting a little hectic here. Are we going to have a non-PPR or a PPR league?
I'm reminding you.
Alexa,
Check into our.
stop. Jeez Louise, dude. Check into my flight. I got to go on a flight tomorrow. Okay, number two, point A, non-PPR or PPR league. The reason why I'm doing this British accent is because I feel like whenever you do a constitution or anything like with a gavel and stuff, I just think of English people. Now, non-PPR or PPR league. We've been a non-PPR league for many, many years now. I personally, as commission, want to continue down that road. I have heard some inklings. Let's have some cordial discussion and come to an agreement as a league. I can see that not happening very clearly because we have some rowdy folks, aka John, aka David, aka Justin. The three of y'all, I love your vigor for the league, but goodness gracious, can we just agree on something? Here we go. And we're going to stick, are we going to stick with ESPN or are we going to join another program? Let's have cordial discussion. Cordial. I think there's a move from ESPN bound in our future, but again, for some of these people, this is what we've stuck to, so maybe they just want to stick to ESPN. That's up to them. I will tell you, there are greener pastures out there with other leagues. So amendment number two, non-PPR or PPR league, again with the caveat of also moving away from ESPN. Do we want to move away from ESPN? That will be the question proposed. We will solidify at some point later on in the league year, but this is what is being proposed in front of us right now. Signing off, your boy Kamish.